Invictus, my kings, welcome back to the Slavicus Maximus channel, and welcome back to What If the Latin Empire Survived in EU4, yes indeed. And you find me just as I am about to declare war on the Mamluks. Let's do a reconquest for Halab, for Syria, and let's see who we are fighting against. The numbers are relatively even, but I think we should have a little bit of an advantage when it comes to quality. And also, let me just take that just to be sure to that we do certainly have better quality. No reason why we should overextend ourselves too much. We should keep our armies more or less grouped together here in the provinces that are controlled by Syria. And let me actually just bomb this one so it doesn't take ages. But in this war we are obviously aiming to retake all of Syria's cores. Let me just quickly also get nobility integration policy. And we'll be integrating them right after we retake their cores, because we have a little bit of a mission. There we go. Restore the Hospitallers, which we need to own Antioch, and currently it's owned by Syria, and it doesn't matter that it's our vassal, we still need to own it physically. A loan offer from Aden, that's not a very good loan, I'm sorry to say, so let's not go forward with it. But it's good to know that Mamluk's enemies are willing to support us, and let's slowly and surely march forward throughout the Mamlukian lands. We can take the flexible negotiation province war score cost minus 20% absolutely brilliant. That's on top of Partitio Greci, which gives us war score cost versus other religions minus 10%. We're still in the age of discovery, although the age of reformation is quickly approaching, but we are still in the age of discovery, so we don't have the war score versus other religions modifier just yet, but we'll be getting it fairly soon. You can see the Mamluks are mustering a giant army over here, but it will not avail them. We will be victorious. Let's see, they are military level 8 and we are military level 11. So we should absolutely stomp them to the ground before they even know what's going on. Are they on the Great Powers list? No, they dropped from the Great Powers list. Number 1 is Spain, probably because of all their colonies. But we are number 2 with just the Balkans and Anatolia. We are number 2, and so yeah, this should go relatively swiftly. Our truce with Spain has ended. Let's see, would they be not Portugal? Would they be willing to? They would be willing, but we are in a war. So France made them annul our alliance. Here we go. We are completely smashing the Mamluks, advancing forward steadily and surely. That was a complete bloodbath, but and there we go, more base development, very cool. You can see we have discipline +5 from our quality ideas, as well as infantry combat ability, cavalry combat ability, artillery combat ability, and as well our Latin traditions give us +5 discipline and cavalry combat ability +15%. So we are actually doing quite nicely when it comes to the quality of our troops, at least compared to the Mamluks. Let's see, the Mamluks took offensive ideas, so they are they certainly do have a little bit of some quality going. Should we? No, let's just go war ups, and no reason why we should bother with Akuyunlu at all. Let's not even cancel their alliance with the Mamluks. That's not gonna do them any good anyway. The Mamluks are going to get thrashed over here. Can we march in? No, we can't march in, but we are about to... admin power is about to become a little bit of an issue, so let's just develop some provinces so that it's about even. That boosts our crown land quite a bit. Okay, let's take that. So we now have all the age abilities unlocked, even though it's not gonna be that useful, I don't think. The colonial development certainly isn't going to be something that we necessarily want to bother with. But here we go, we managed to siege out Kahira. And bam, there we go, more battles won, more armies wiped, and the Mamluks have decided to go into our rear and are causing trouble there. So let's pull our armies back a little bit and let's clean it up. As you can see, they're also at war with Hassa, which they've been at war with numerous times. But it seems like they really like going to war with Hassa, because this is like the third time I've seen them be at war with them. No reason to even reinforce that army. We just wiped the floor with the Mamluks, and so this it's kind of looking like it's going to be a relatively easy war. So I will see you once the war is over. Just to quickly pop in, but we just unlocked the mission phase Bastion, because it's not the Age of Discovery anymore. It just flipped to the Age of Reformation, and we have a religious unity of at least 100. So after we take a bunch of provinces here, obviously it's going to flip to not be 100. So let's take morale of armies plus 5%, missionary strength versus heretics plus 1%, and gained skill 3 theologian, which should be cheaper. There we go, bam. And I think that was him. Yeah, that's him. Okay. So, and we can also take Blasphemy Act. Yeah, sure. Torrents of Heretics is a little low. Don't know why it's the Hussite symbol over here. But Torrents of Heathens is relatively fine for some reason. Surprisingly so. But yeah, let's just get back on with the war. Okay, the Mamluks are actually quite large. It's a little bit of a pain to fully occupy them, but let's just go to the Mamluks and let's return core. Let's find all of Syria's cores to return. That should be quite a bit of damage to them. There we go. And then we will take this, and yeah, we can take actually quite a bit, because we are returning a bunch of cores to Syria. There we go. That's about the damage that we're gonna do to them. Let's core all these provinces. Well, we can't core all of them, but let's core as many of them as possible. Let's return with our armies. And that should be that. We completed a mission. Jerusalem allows deformation of Jerusalem outside of the Age of Discovery. We don't really, but we'll get a bunch of goodies from it, so that's completely fine. We will begin integrating Syria right as our diplomat returns. Bam, there we go. So we are now annexing Syria, and got a bunch of money, and we can convert provinces. Some provinces already being converted, obviously. So let's wait for that to happen. Let's take the next mill tech. We got some new sprites for our units, looking very cool. Not really crusadey, but still relatively cool. And let's free shooter infantry, maybe. That sounds kind of interesting. And let's seize land, obviously. Bam, there we go. Everything is going according to plan. So I think we'll just keep pummeling the Mamluks. There isn't any other obvious target that we could go against. We do have some claims on Tunis, but I'd rather just restore the borders of the Eastern Roman Empire, which means, yeah, we'll just keep pummeling the Mamluks and take Egypt and Cyrenaica. So Egypt and Cyrenaica it is. That's what we're going for, and that's what we will get. So, yeah, that's about it. There we go. We have the mission of restore the Hospitallers. Bam, there we go. Oh, should we... the knights will be our... Knights get restored Hospitaller order until the end of the game, giving the following effects: morale of armies plus 10%, national manpower modifier plus... You know what? Why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. The knights are here. They're obviously Catholic. They are our march. We won't really be annexing them. They're a fun little vassal to have as a little bit of, well, a supportive when it comes to sieging, since I don't really plan on splitting up my armies that much. But yeah, let's see. Kingdom of all provinces in the Syrian desert. So one more there of that, and we get the Kingdom of Heaven. Won't really probably contribute to create treasure at least 5. And how does that work? I spent so much already, but okay. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but hey, we got the knights. We have a little bit of a crusade going on again, and we will take over Egypt and Cyrenaica and call the series there. Alright, it's time to go back to war with the Mamluks. The Yemenis just took a little bit of a bite out of them over here. And let's go Holy War, and let's also call in Spain. Why not? It's going to be a little bit of fun. And let's get this party on the road. This should be a relatively simple ordeal. This should be the last war in this campaign. Let's just do that, sure. It's almost the end, so it doesn't matter. The knights here are coming in like a storm, and they will just siege. The Mamluks just lost the war, so they have they're kind of out of manpower, out of military. Also, they're only military level 8. Whereas we are military level 13, so we completely outmatch them. And this really shouldn't be any sort of difficult situation at all for us. It's going to be one of those cases where you just breeze through like there's no issue. You're gonna 100% them. Here we go. We can piece out Akuyunlu, some money. Bam, there we go. No need for any sort of difficult peace deal with them. We are done with them. The only reason why they're even alive and why Karakunyunlu, which is quite massive by the way, hasn't eaten them yet is because of the alliance with the Mamluks. So we are holding Karakunyunlu back a little bit with our shenanigans. We could have actually gone for it, but let's at least watch the Mamlukian navy get completely trounced. There we go. But we even dunced, maybe. Yeah, we showed the world that they are a bunch of dunces and that they are unworthy of being called a major power, even though they are not called a major power. Once upon a time, they were called a major power, eh? And our leader died while this was going on, so we have a different emperor now. But we are okay. So we have 99% of the Mamluks. It's time to take the entirety of this region is going to be ours, and let's actually just take as much as possible over here, and yeah, not really bothered about the overextension. Bam, there we go, and there we go. I could probably core all of this, not all of it, but anyway, it's the end of the campaign. If I were to continue further on, we would maybe push into Tunis, clean up the Mamluks here, but at this point we have won. The Latin Empire looking mighty, looking like the Eastern Roman Empire. We are #1 great power. Spain is quite close though, but we are #1 obviously. So hopefully you kings enjoyed, and I will see you next time.